Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on by today. My name is Hawkfoot, and with me today on this wonderful afternoon is the wonderful Mr. Tee Lopes. I am absolutely honored to be able to do this run today. You have no idea. So we're calling this interview percent. I am no speedrunner by any means. I'm usually the Mega Man guy, but I started off as the Sonic guy. And honestly, it's just like, this is just a crazy dream come true. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through this run as best as I possibly can, but I want to hear a little bit about Mr. Tee Lopes, so please, a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm at a loss for words. I don't leave my house too much, kind of a hermit. So every time I come out here and I see people that know my face, it's always surreal. So thank you so much for coming. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
So without further ado, we do have one thing. There was a character bid war, and I do want to find out what we are running with today, or whomst rather.
All right, well, pretty easily. There was actually like two characters that were bid for. It was $25 for Knuckles, but that's not the one you're playing. You're going to be going for $202 with Tails the Fox. Yeah! Yeah, we had a whole debate about what color Tails was last time. It was really funny, actually.
We go with
With Peach. Interesting choice. Oh, take a seat, get your headsets on. Let's get ready to rock. Hold on just 1 second.
that are pretty much done. There will be
There we
super
go.
forms involved, but we just want to get through and enjoy the run as much as possible, okay? What I will be doing, though, I will not be using super mode exclusively because we have music to hear, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't played this in so long. It brings back memories.
Alrighty. So are we all set to go in the back there?
I believe so.
Alrighty.
Yep, sounds like it.
Count me down, Meta, please.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Alrighty. Good old Green Hill. You can't start off a Sonic game without this. So, and obviously I am not the speedrunner. I am the guy. I want to be the guy, but that's a whole nother argument. So T, what brought you about to just Sonic in general? What was your biggest thing in introduction to Sonic as a franchise?
That's a good question. I mean, I was so young, I barely remember. The Sonic's been around for a while now. But probably the cartoons, believe it or not. I think I saw the cartoons before I ever owned a Sonic game. And only a couple of years later did I get my first Master System. It wasn't even a Sega Genesis. With my first Sonic game, which I was ecstatic about. I was just really, really happy to just have a Sega product, period, right? When I
Was it Sonic 1 or 2 for the Master System?
It was Sonic 1. It came with in the console's memory. And I was just, wow, I have a Sonic game.
And honestly, Sonic 1 for Master/Game Gear is honestly pretty good. It still plays more like a traditional platformer, but
Yeah, it's very much its own thing.
it wasn't Sonic 2 though.
No, but the music was spectacular.
Bridge.
It's some of the best music, in my opinion, that's been made for a Sonic game.
Bridge still
Yeah,
holds up to this day as well, for those that know.
Absolutely. All of them, in my opinion, but maybe I'm biased.
No,
That's my childhood.
Game Gear/Master puts out some wonderful stuff. For me personally, I grew up in a house divided. My very first systems were a Genesis and a Game Boy.
Oh, lucky you.
So
Okay.
it was Mega Man World 3, and that's a whole nother can of worms. That was my first game for that. and then the Sonic 2 that was packaged with the Genesis at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So my world was blue to start with.
Okay. Yeah. Same. Well, in a way, my first video game that I played was Alex Kidd, also on the Master System. It wasn't Sonic, but Sonic was definitely, if not my favorite, one of my favorite characters as a kid. I used to draw him all the time. Before I knew I wanted to be a musician, I used to want to be an animator. So yeah, I used to draw Sonic a lot. I have some of those old drawings somewhere.
I found recently some old things where I drew the Mario World maps and found those, and I was just like, wow. And now I see in like the artist alley and everything these days where people just make up giant canvases of those maps, all detailed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was this a missed opportunity? Oh my goodness, I'm having a... Mr. Motobug, you are not being very nice today. Alrighty, so we're just having, you know, the egg wrecker. Oh, hi. Still gets me to this day.
And this guy was bad in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Right? It's funny that they made him the first boss here.
No, and I think that's the best Easter egg they could have done.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still doing once-overs. I'm not perfect. Nobody ever is. So, when you got, when you were hearing about what they were doing for all of the levels, what were some of the things that brought about, like, the influences to those? Like, you got Chemical Plant, but then what are you bringing to the table with Chemical Plant?
You mean Act 1 or Act 2?
We'll get to Act 2 when that happens.
Okay, so Act 1, I guess I just wanted to make people feel like this is what they remember listening to, even though it's really not, right? If you go back and play the original games, the instruments obviously don't have this kind of fidelity or...
No, and that just brings everything else to the table.
Yeah, right. But when you play Sonic Mania, my intention was that you at least on the Act 1s of the stages that already existed, was for you to hear it and not notice that there was a difference there. You know, it's just how you remembered it, kind of thing, how your brain into remembering it. So there wasn't a lot of changes to it. It was more to the instrumental than the arrangement itself.
For the original levels, yes, but I know when we get to the original levels, that was going to be a whole different ball game, I'm sure.
Right. But for these well, you want to talk about Act 2 later, right? When you get to it, which should be in a few seconds, hopefully.
Oh yeah, we're getting the quick route here.
There you go.
Although, as a quick note, the Superform music, like that was just like triumphant.
This
Yes.
stuff? Yeah.
Because nobody wants to listen to Invincibility music all the time. We got a soundtrack to listen to.
Yeah, it was a bit too short, the original one, right?
It was just a loop that kept going.
Yeah, so we couldn't have that anymore.
But then you get into this. The bass, the alarms? Where did this come from?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess because it's sort of a factory. I don't know if you could call it that. Well, chemical plant. Yeah. So I thought of putting some alarms, some sirens, like some stuff that you could probably hear at a factory in a case of emergency or something. So
no, it's like you're finally in the
thick of it. I think that's where the idea came from, yeah. And then obviously the arrangement is just
But it's definitely more high octane in my opinion too.
Yeah.
Especially when you got all the tubes.
Yeah, you got all this stuff, so we had to make something a little bit more, a little bit crazier.
I remember when I first discovered this song, I swear I listened to it for like 3 hours, because I was like, this is incredible. Like, just in the background working on stuff. Just,
I think I made it and never listened to it again.
It's hard, right? Because like you spend so much time creating it, you're like, okay, I'm sick of it.
That is the main problem with
it's the creator's curse, kind of. Like you spent a long time doing it, and suddenly it's just like, yep, I'm done. We're going to the next one.
It's not just that; it's that I'm lucky enough to work on all these amazing games, right? But by the time they're finished, I'm so tired of my music that I don't want to play them. Yeah, it's like it's so many hours working on the same stuff and Not just that. I guess I'd rather spend my time listening to somebody else's music.
Oh
rather than
yeah,
my
no,
own.
it's like you. So I have my roommate who is a musician himself, and when I'm hearing him listen, like going through his loops and trying to get all the stuff right, it's like I know that kind of process.
Bro, my wife goes crazy. Like I've heard that song a million times. Or could you lower the volume a little bit? And I totally
like,
understand because I feel the
can't
same
stop the
way.
bass, though.
Yeah, yeah. I understand because I feel the same way. Another thing is, because my job is making music, I can't be listening to music as I make it. So there's also that. Those are the downsides.
And now we get to be amazed by my Puyo Puyo skills. Now, full disclosure, I am a Puyo de Pan stan.
Okay.
So
Oh.
this is definitely not my cup of tea. However, we give this an honest shot.
I, by the way, absolutely loved they did this reference. I was like, oh,
Oh
that's
no,
what me
it was a
being
perfect dig. Perfect dig. I knew exactly
I think
where it was coming
they
from.
made this one really easy though.
Oh
the
no, they had
developers,
to.
yeah.
However, there are times where suddenly Eggman activates his second brain cell.
Okay.
It does happen from time to time.
Yeah, it's like playing it on easy mode kind of thing. All right.
I was hesitating there. We're just gonna lay on some of the single ones here.
I don't remember if they made it too hard at first and then had to tone it down. But I think it was something like that.
No, I think they patched it, but again, every so often, Eggman's just like, no, not today.
Every so often, it's like, don't forget I'm a genius here.
All right.
All right, wait. Do we stick the landing? Yes.
Good job, yeah. Very good.
All right, so now the claim to fame. Congratulations, you got in Smash Brothers. That is the biggest badge of
That
honor
is
you
insane.
ever could
Oh,
for
yeah.
Thank
Studiopolis.
you.
This
Yeah.
was the highlight, the trailer, the everything about this
Yeah,
game.
man, it's insane because, well, I have Jun Senoue to thank for that because he's the one that submitted the song for Smash. So, but it's such an incredible honor, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's just you. It's a kid's dream come true that you get. Like, you don't get your character, you get a whole vibe into Smash.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, if you had told me that when I was a kid, I wouldn't believed you any of this, really.
No.
Or any of these people here for me, so. It's been a crazy journey for sure.
And then on top of that, just all the deep cuts in this zone as well, like the high-class Hornet for the car.
Yeah.
The sound going into it is from Spinball and the Game Gear symbol on the TV. Like, this is all a celebration of
Oh
everything.
yeah, I mean the developers were
they knew what they were doing.
super fans. Yeah. Not just of Sonic, but like Sega titles in general.
Oh,
the
yeah.
old school stuff. They knew their stuff, and there was research made on top of that. So they really gave it all and then some. You know.
We actually got a $10 donation from Handlebar Orion X. Donating $10 to Ray there on the poll right as it was closing. Had to go for the obscure Sonic character because I feel like they deserve more love, which understandable. But we're already playing as Tails, and apparently he has a $200 backing.
I was like, okay, I'll admit I kind of didn't put in Mighty because I figured that Mighty is just kind of Sonic a little bit, and Sonic is like, he's here. Knuckles, always fan favorite. But somehow just Tails came out, and then Ray as well. Like, I was kind of torn between Ray and Tails myself, but not a penny went to Ray.
Hey, speaking of great themes, by the way, I love this one so much as a boss theme.
This feels like quirky mini-boss squad to a T.
Oh yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't remember.
Really?
I have no idea. Let me think a little bit. Where did this come from?
Her inspiration.
I know that initially, and this was probably one of the first, not one of the first, but one of the few first songs that I probably came up with for this demo, because I think the demo had Studiopolis and this was. So I think that was one of the first songs. And at the time, I was very focused on trying to make something in the style of Sonic CD, which was my favorite soundtrack.
Really?
I'm talking
CD?
about the Japanese edition.
Oh,
yeah.
Japanese. Okay, Japanese CD rep.
And yeah, so at the time I was trying to stay close to that, but eventually the soundtrack evolved into being its own thing because I can't escape my own styles. It's just, but yeah, I think that was the inspiration.
Yeah, because everybody considered this like a Sega Saturn-esque
Right,
kind
right.
of.
It's the
I've got
Sonic
the worst
that
RNG
never
with
came
this
out
boss
for the
today.
Saturn.
Sorry.
Tee Lopes, I'm going to make a controversial question happen.
Controversial. Let's
We've
go.
been discussing this all day today. What color is Tails?
I think,
Putting you on the spot.
and don't kill me, please. I think he's orange.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Okay,
All right, excellent. That's a good answer.
that's what my eyes tell me.
Somehow today became a celebration of Tails, and we're just going for it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing my official costume.
Kind of
you
reminds
go.
me of the whole blue or golden dress
Oh my God, that
thing.
meme.
Yeah.
So my hot take here, I actually really much enjoy Act 2 over Act 1. I just think the vibe is a lot better,
Yeah.
like for that kind of Hollywood-esque, like you're in the glitz and glamour kind of thing.
Yeah, this is more of a TV studio, whereas Act 1 is more like a Hollywood, like a movie studio, right? So if you want to talk about the theme, that's where I got inspiration for this, to make it kind of like a newscast song, you know what I mean? Like a newscast theme kind of thing.
Hold on, I have to do this. Yeah! I may have grown up in a house divided, but we can appreciate everything.
I think they were able to make a port of Sonic. I don't remember which Sonic it was for the Super Nintendo, and it actually runs pretty well, which is insane. Right? Because they said it wouldn't be possible because of the lack of processing power.
Oh, yeah, eventually it's like, my thing is, at that time, the fight was over the tech, and I get that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Was it accurate though? That is the question.
I don't know, because like it all came down to the games.
One thing is for sure, Genesis had Sonic, so
Genesis had Sonic.
and Nintendo don't. So
no,
that's
no, they didn't.
that's for sure.
No, they did not. Unfortunately, playing the lotto balls there takes up a little too much time there, so we gotta zip through.
Wow.
T, we got another question for you.
Yeah.
Out of all of the original tracks that you wrote for the game, of which of yours are your favorite? Like,
That
what's
keeps
your?
on changing.
What's that?
That keeps on changing.
Yeah.
Initially, it was Studiopolis, because that was the first track I made for the game.
Okay.
And but then other tracks started.
I
coming
mean,
in,
I
yeah.
think the most people immediately run to Studiopolis because it's like an immediate banger. Honestly, like it's just first listen, you're like, oh shit, this is good. You know, for me, Press Garden is it's kind of like the sleeper. It grows on you.
The Press Garden,
Yeah.
Act 1 or 2?
I'm an Act 2 fan
Okay.
personally,
Press Garden
Yeah.
but
too.
it feels like it's definitely one of those ones where it just kind of like it grows on you over time
Yeah.
the more you listen
Uh-huh.
to it. But yeah, I've always been very curious. Like, you know, you're coming into this project doing a lot of remixes for other songs for games that you didn't originally compose.
Yeah.
But like composing original tracks for it on top of that, like. What was the process like for like making sure that you kept that unique sound, that it's very obvious this is a Sonic song?
That's a great question. I think it's more of a feeling than anything else. I don't know that I have a precise answer to give you regarding that, but it's just Sonic music just in my head just feels a certain way. You know, it feels fun, it feels a little bit childish but edgy at the same time. And there's like a mix of elements that I think also represent Sonic as a character. So if Sonic was music, what would it translate into? So I think that's kind of the thoughts going into it.
I feel like that question gets harder and harder now because as Sonic continues, and like Sonic's been around for 30 plus years now.
Right.
The genre, I mean, not the genre, excuse me, but the genre of music per game keeps changing as well.
I think Sonic is one of the series with the most a variety of
Yeah.
musical genres out there, because you have everything from rock to hip hop to pop to
Yeah.
jazz to you name it, funk,
Eurobeat,
disco, yeah.
metal, all
Everything.
kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I asked that question. I guess I should clarify. It was more like a what makes it feel like classic Sonic, you know? For me, I've always thought about it like from a percussion level. It has that like Genesis like beats
Okay.
behind it.
Yeah.
I guess especially with like the Michael Jackson Sonic 3 type beats,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? But it's still very hard to classify because even the like classic games have a variety of song types.
Right. This is why I never speak in about Sonic music in terms of genre. It's
Yeah.
more about feeling, you know, feeling cool, feeling fast.
I
Feeling
like
Yeah.
that take.
Yeah, Sonic has that attitude, that 90s attitude thing, so it all goes into the music. Like, listen to this track, for example. You got that Michael Jackson, like,
It's got that 90s boom bap.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So there's some energy to that, like a certain type of vibe.
Now, this is the first like remix you went way too hard on, and I super appreciate. I know I have a couple of friends who agree with
okay,
it. Flying Battery 2, unnecessarily hard, and we go.
I don't think we didn't change this track too much.
No, but you didn't need to, and the
No,
additions that
no,
you
no.
did were just.
I would never change these tracks too much because they're so great to begin with. So many times I was like, what the hell am I even gonna do here, you know? But so it was more about revamping some of the instruments, adding some elements to the background that obviously couldn't have been there back in the day because you had limited channels on what for what the Genesis chip could do. So
That's kind of the same thing with the Castlevania 3 debacle, where the Nintendo could only hold. They only did so many channels with it, and I guess the original Nintendo or the NES
Right.
over here did not get the full thing. Whereas with overseas, they had the channel to do it,
right.
and it was just like, no, this is a completely different soundtrack when you have everything working right.
Yeah.
I believe that was because the Famicom disk system had more channels, but the original, like the Famicom and the NES did not have as many music
Famicom
channels
has
as the disc
Originally,
system.
I think 4 channels, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what the number was, but the disc
Yeah.
system just had more.
It's like a noise channel and then
Yeah.
3 other channels, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Zelda 2 has the same problem of like the Zelda 2 OST
Oh, I
on
didn't know
the
that.
system is just so much more like there's more complex.
Right, and then there were like special cartridges for it too that amplify the capacities of the NES.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the Genesis, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, has 8 channels. Is it? I think it's 8 channels, something like. So obviously, there's a lot that couldn't have been done in terms of details back then that I had the opportunity to add here.
I'm not familiar if this is the case or not. I could be asking a dumb question here, but is that invincibility jingle a new jingle for this
No.
game?
No,
Oh,
no, no,
or was
no.
that from another game?
No, this one.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
invincibility. Yeah, no, this is original.
Okay, I thought so.
That is an arrangement of the title screen.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I knew the one-up jingle was from Sonic 3.
yeah,
Not the Sonic and Knuckles one, which is what I was expecting. But
It's-
I'm also like, this is fine, but why the Sonic 3 one?
because I actually composed one that encompassed Sonic Mania's theme song. But
they not
then
wanna double
in
dip?
in Japan they decided to go with the classic
Okay.
songs for some reason. I don't remember exactly, but they wanted to go to maybe because they're so iconic that people just recognize them. I'm not sure.
I know they dipped a little hard on the nostalgia for good reason, But I know that when push came to shove at the end of the day, people really enjoyed having like more original compositions and hope to see more.
I know many people were hoping to see a lot more new stages and stuff. And to me,
I mean, this is still a very this is legitimately now tied for my personal favorite classic Sonic game next to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, easily. Sonic 2 started me off absolutely, but there was just something magical about Sonic 3 and Knuckles that was just like, this is an experience. This is a campaign. This has multiple characters.
And there's like a story there. There's cutscenes and all that stuff that we hadn't really seen before in a Sonic game, or at least not to that extent. So yeah, it was special for many reasons.
No, yeah, and now that it just kept the vibe going with this and just made it look and feel absolutely fantastic.
And what it did for the music as well, right? Because after Sonic 3, you started having Act 1 and 2.
The Act remixes, I'm just like, this is a flavor.
And different artists, not just one, right? Because Masato Nakamura composed the first 2 games, but for the third game, it was Sega's sound team, which is just comprised of a bunch of different composers. And so you got a lot more variety because of that too.
Also say hi to Eggette. Yes, she still exists in our hearts.
That was such a funny thing.
I mean, you give designers a chance and they go a mile, and I love you for it.
I remember the developer team having such a blast with this whole concept and finding it so funny that people found the
there we go,
character in there. Yeah.
Nice. We've got a few donations real quick.
Oh, go for it.
We got $10 from Anonymous, no message. We have $25 from Dr. Shindiggity. Thanks for making Flying Battery Zone Act 2 go this hard. It gives an action movie feel to it.
Okay.
And then 2121 from Matoni. Nice. Also, $11, $696.90. Everybody together, nice.
Nice.
No, Matoni's my bud out there. Thank you, man.
Let me tell you guys something that I don't think I ever told people. I was gonna scrap this song.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I almost scrapped it. At the time, I remember I was pretty happy with the soundtrack when it was already finished and the game was close to being released. But I remember thinking, man, this is like the ugly duckling of the soundtrack. But that changed with time, right? It just
it's a weird
grew in me.
Yeah, it's like a weird at first, like just in general, Press Garden. What is this place? Level
What is
loads.
this place, right? That's a very good question.
It's ye old propaganda mill.
That
What?
is, that's Dr. Robotnik's propaganda machine kind of thing.
I mean, he would be like, well, I'm too smart to use my regular methods of, spreading on the internet. So how about I do the newspaper?
I guess ever since he saw that Sonic article being Man of the Year, even though he's a hedgehog,
Ooh, somebody got salty.
he was, like, hell no, I'm gonna start my own newspaper.
We go up. We go up whether I like it or not, because that's what Tails does.
This gameplay-wise, this stage is like the most Mega Man Sonic stage there is. Not just because of the Yoku blocks, but because of also the the variety of mechanics that are going on here. On that subject, Tee Lopes, I think I saw this on Twitter at some point. You mentioned, or Capcom mentioned, that they might be making some more classic or Mega Man games.
They have.
And you were like, "Here, I'm over here."
I hope they do.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
hope they call me. I'd love to do a Mega
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Oh, I'd be so down for that.
Or a Castlevania game. That would be amazing.
Castlevania? Oh,
You know-
yeah, man.
sir, please.
Yeah, that would
Going from the blue blur to the blue bomber, it's
right?
We actually the origin of this event, we started off as the Mega Manathon, and it was just a Mega Man
Right?
charity event.
For like 7 years straight, right? Or something like that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And so obviously we're very excited about anything Mega Man as well. The question I have for you here is, if you could do a Mega Man soundtrack, which previous Mega Man soundtrack do you think would influence you the most?
Spicy question.
Yeah,
That's a-
because
that
I
is a
know,
tough question
I know I'm
because-
throwing some deeper ones at you, but I'm just genuinely curious.
Are we talking? Would it be? Are we talking about an OG Mega Man game or like Mega Man X?
That's a great question. Like you go like classic
Very
X, Star
different,
Force,
very different
right?
styles, in my opinion, at least.
But,
I would say like classic versus X would be separate categories.
Yeah,
The first Mega Man game I played, which made me fall in love with the series, was, believe it or not, Mega Man 8. So that was that was very late in Mega Man's life.
We are now friends. I want you to know
Okay,
that.
all right.
I love
And it still
Mega Man so
has one of my favorite Mega Man soundtracks. But I know many people don't agree with that. It's kind of an odd soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what's enticing to me about it is that it's so out of the box.
It was
you know?
very synthy. Frostman got me easily.
Especially the Frostman points where you're like doing the I forget what they call it, but when you're on
Jump,
the
jump,
snowboard,
slide.
jump, slide, slide.
I actually mastered that stage somehow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I got the timing right after 1,000 tries.
Well,
but
sure.
yeah, eventually I got the hang of it.
I just quote Aquaman all the time. I'm like, how you doing, handsome? I'm handsome guy.
Okay, and now this one.
This one.
This
This is the
had
track.
no right to go this hard at all, and is just absolutely the vibe.
Thank you. This one takes inspiration from The Revenge of Shinobi.
And considering the boss and everything, that is like blatant.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Originally, there was a different theme for this stage as well. But as they changed the layout and, you know, the way it looks and stuff, decided to go with something different.
But even then, it's just like, this is the one I couldn't stop listening to for 3 hours.
It's funny because writing the songs, you never know what's gonna resonate with people. Sometimes you think you just wrote the best song in the world and people don't even care about it. Other times, like Studiopolis, it took me an hour to come up with it, and it was like the way you hear it now is basically the way it was when I presented it to the team. So it's just like one of those days that you have an idea that comes out of nowhere and just turns out to, you know, to resonate with a lot of people. But I feel like a lot of musicians agree with me on this, that we have very little choice on what people will enjoy.
The resonation with Studiopolis Zone, I think, was not really a surprise per se, but just seeing how the resonation with like here at MAGFest, it's become one of the staples that you're going to hear.
That's
it's
crazy.
like it's Mega Man 2 Wily 1. It's you're going to hear it here.
That's
I've heard
nuts.
Studiopolis Zone 5 times since I've been here this year.
You know what's incredible about that? That I did not make the song thinking anyone would ever have to perform it or want to perform it or whatever. So I'm like, let me just stick all of these complicated piano notes in there because, you know, if Sonic CD Japan could do it, then I can do it. Let's try to, you know, go with that. But it turns out that people go the extra mile to try to get that piano solo, which I don't know how they do it, but many people can do
The
it.
weirdest one I saw 2 years ago, I saw the Super Guitar Brothers perform it on main stage.
Wow.
And they
Don't-
did the piano solo on the classical guitar.
Incredible. Yeah.
And it was
I
insane.
didn't see them live, didn't have the pleasure to, but I obviously saw the video.
Yeah.
And I reached out to them and I was like, wow, you
Yeah,
guys
they're
are
amazing
insane.
guys.
Yeah, they are great people, but super, super talented
Yeah.
and dedicated musicians. That's the shuriken sound from
Every sound.
Shinobi,
Death
yeah.
sound, like that's all Shinobi stuff. Like for the true Sega fans out there.
I just revisited Shinobi 3 the other day.
Oh,
Which
it's-
is, man, that has to be like top 5 best Sega Genesis games to me. Or at least in that style of game. Oh, wow. What a masterpiece.
So I don't have anything against it because I haven't played it.
You haven't played it? Then do yourself a favor when you get home.
Shinobi 3 definitely
Shinobi
has
3.
been told to me. It's like,
Yeah.
you need to. Absolutely. So,
It's not my favorite Shinobi soundtrack, obviously, because Yuzo Koshiro did Revenge of Shinobi, and that's unbeatable in my perspective, but it's a great soundtrack, and it's a great game.
So, now that we're in Stardust Speedway and we've established that the Japanese obviously was your influence.
Yeah.
I will say both have their ups and downs. Because the first time I ever played the Sonic CD was the PC version, which had the English version.
Right,
And that was the only way I could play it for the longest
Yeah.
time. But I very much love my share of EDM and everything like that, so
Right.
it still hit very hard. And then once I finally hit the Japanese one, I'm like, okay, now I see why everybody gives this one the props too.
Yeah.
But I'm also very much in the Porque no los dos category. So.
Look, I mean, there's gonna be some bias there because it's the stuff you grew up with. So many times it just reminds you of maybe a better time or a simpler time. So it makes certain songs have a special meaning
Oh yeah, obviously.
that they wouldn't have otherwise many times. I grew up in Europe, was born and raised in Portugal till I was 16. So I grew up with the European version, aka Japanese version, right? So that's what I'm familiar with, and that's what I'm maybe biased towards. But it's a great soundtrack. I had the pleasure of getting in touch with the composer.
Oh, was it Jacques or Jax?
No, that was for
Oh, that was for 3D Blast. Sorry.
for Sonic R and stuff. And Mr. Hataya, great guy. His wife is also a composer, and he told me that he loved my arrangements of his music, so that meant the world to me. Because you never know it.
Oh no,
I've had some bad reactions to my remixes before, and sometimes.
I sometimes revisit the stuff you made way back on YouTube, like
I don't.
literal a decade ago.
Oh no, not me. That's for sure. No, because I'll listen for 3 seconds and be like, oh my lord.
Everyone is their own worst critic.
Yeah. Still going back to what I was saying before, but about you never knowing what's gonna resonate with people when you make music. I think my stuff with the most views on YouTube is the stuff I enjoy the least.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's things that took me so long to make that people just don't care as much about. So it's not. You don't really have a choice. And everybody says that, man. I don't care what musician you speak with. Be the highest professional out there, most famous pop artist out there, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Again, you are your own harshest critic. Hindsight is 20/20, and you obviously live and learn.
For sure, yeah. But I do my thing, and
And again, obviously, you did your thing here because this was also nobody really refutes Stardust Speedway Future.
I'll consider that. I kind of consider these collaborations, right? Because it has a lot of original stuff that I incorporated, but the base of the song was still composed by Hataya-san. So we treat it as a collaboration, which I'm so proud of.
Oh no,
much
that's
prouder
like
of that than I am
bucket
of
list thing, you know?
my original songs for sure. 'Cause, bucket listing for sure.
We are raising money for Child's Play. Keep those donations coming in. We got lots of great incentives. Go help out our upcoming performances. Next, we've got some TazBot coming up, so stick around. We got some great stuff coming on.
Oh man,
Donate
TazBot.
to Child's Play.
So funny story about how this came about. Originally, I was supposed to do Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
But instead, something happened, and we decided to kind of make things adjust, and we moved this all mixed up. And I'm like, you know what? I am very much okay with this.
Wow.
So things happen for a reason.
What a coincidence, wasn't it?
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
again, very happy about it. Everything.
I basically was like, hey, Hawkfoot, if you play Sonic Mania, would you be cool if, like, Tee Lopes joining you? Like, would you be cool with that?
I'm like, this isn't happening, is it?
It's like, oh, wait.
Like, I know it's the other game, but,
Well, I originally wanted to do Mania in general. I didn't know that you wanted to do it for Taz. And
I would
you know what?
have been here either way if you guys invited me.
You're here for the vibes.
I'm here for the people. I'm so happy that you guys came. Thank you.
So I do have one question for you, T.
Yeah.
So when you were creating this game, and when they officially announced Sonic Mania and the gigantic
I
the
shat my
response
pants.
they
It
had.
was crazy.
Huh?
I shat my pants. It was insane when they announced it.
This is me showing a little vulnerability, but I legitimately, I go back and I watch the Sonic reveal of it, and everyone's just chanting and hollering for that announcement trailer.
Wow.
It is at like if I'm having a bad day sometimes, every now and then I'll watch that video just because it's like such. It's just such a euphoric
The energy was so
feeling.
insane. And I
People
was
are like,
there that day.
This is it. This is exactly what we want. You're doing it.
Yeah.
And we've gone from that, and now all the way we're here at MAGFest, completely themed around the game.
Isn't that insane?
Right?
A game that wasn't supposed to even get that big.
Yeah.
It was
This
like
is technically like
a celebration
Yeah.
game, celebrate Sonic's 25th anniversary,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
10 years later.
I don't think even Sega knew what that game was gonna become.
I
Nobody
don't.
really
I still.
knew.
Sometimes I wonder if they still don't know. Sorry to put you on the
As
spot
they
there.
say, ask Sega, right?
I would love some more of this, Sega. Thank you.
Oh, I hope so. I hope
Okay,
they make
okay.
another one.
The elephant in the room time.
Say it.
I wish I had composed something like this, but
No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hydro City.
Hydrosity.
you know how it goes. Hydro means water, and city means city. Seriously, guys, officially, it's Hydro City. I'm telling you firsthand. Yeah. Because I've heard it from the source in
There-
Japanese, so
Hey,
they
look,
probably won't tell you that, but I will because I'm your friend. Hydro City, okay?
I'm gonna die on the Hydrosities.
Okay,
hill.
that's
I can't help
fine.
it.
Gonna die in the Hydrosity.
That's fine.
I will die on that hill.
Hydrosity, velocity. I mean,
I
it's
did-
open to interpretation, I guess. Sega wants it
It's-
to be that
it's-
way, I suppose. Otherwise, they would have confirmed
It's one
it.
of those things. It's just like,
But I know the truth.
like similar to like how you felt about the Sonic CD OST.
Yeah.
What did you grow with?
Of course, yeah.
And like
yeah.
the kids on my playground, they
Right.
said Hydrosity. So
Hydrosity,
that's
that's
where it
it,
is for
yeah,
the rest of my
of
life now,
course.
kind of thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it is one of those like amazing things about the Sonic fandom that we will go hard about the dumbest argument we can go on.
Such as Tails' color, right?
Yeah.
I said peach.
What is peach?
Delicious.
Right. That was a good answer.
I'm currently Tails is hashtag F1AF00 is my favorite one.
The hex code. Okay. I thought I heard that one just like.
I legitimately had to look it up.
If you go there with a drop picker, is that what it's called?
The eye
Yeah.
drop tool, yeah.
Eye drop, yeah. It will probably say orange or something of the sort. All right, just letting you know.
And then
I think peach is a little bit pinker.
and then you're a number off, and then suddenly he turns purple.
Right. Or something completely different, yeah.
We have been celebrating like
Double bubble.
the additional characters today. So with that, besides Sonic, who's your favorite side character?
Besides Sonic?
Yeah, besides Sonic.
Knuckles.
Knuckles.
I was a huge Knuckles fan as a kid.
He doesn't chuckle.
If Sonic was badass, Knuckles was taking it to the next level. I remember seeing the logo for Sonic and Knuckles logo the first time. Like, who's the red dude? Wow. He had those fierce eyes and those spiky gloves.
He was the first bad boy,
Right? Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
know Sonic has gone up against how many of his adversaries?
Right.
You know,
He started out as a villain of sorts, right? Or
Yeah.
not
I
really a
mean,
villain, like an anti-hero, if you want to call it
anti-hero.
that. Yeah.
Technically the anti-hero on
Because
that
he
one,
was
but
being deceived, right? But
how many of those have we had? Was Shadow and I
Very
guess Middle
stern
Knuckles
character,
is a
very
true
strong.
villain. So
Yeah.
I think you might like my answer, Blaze,
Okay.
though. So, besides Sonic, obviously. However, I'm going to go a little bit and not do a little bias. Blaze. I don't think Blaze has gotten enough representation. Two games.
Factual.
And 2 main games, and she needs a little bit more representation, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Great character.
I wouldn't agree with you
There
at
you
all.
go.
Yeah.
It's
Your
not,
name for a reason.
It's not my name at
Blaze
all.
Bops. Okay.
Yeah, Blaze. I'm Blaze Bops, and yeah, that's also my legal name, Blaze.
Blaze.
Michelle Blaze.
Wow, like
Yeah,
the
I
character in Streets of Rage.
Yeah, they're both correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You did Streets of Rage 4.
The DLC. Yeah.
The
had the honor
DLC,
to
but
do that.
still, ooh,
Yeah.
there.
Thank you.
A lot of fans, just for the game in general. The Sega kids know what they want, and you gave it to them. That's all that matters.
Oh man, I appreciate that. I hope that was the case. You know, even
Like, that's another case of the sound chip went really hard for Streets of Rage 2.
Streets of Rage is a tough one to follow up, man. Streets of Rage is anything Yuzo Koshiro is tough to follow for sure.
Oh, come on.
This is fun, right?
Oh no,
I've never seen this
the
the first time,
revenging
and-
is.
yeah.
This is a great treat.
Yeah, I think Christian Whitehead came up with a lot of these ideas, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the whole team threw in ideas, but he had a lot of things that he wanted to do.
No, and like again, the Easter eggs, the love, the references. Like that was one of those just like, this is cute.
It's really, yeah. They really went far.
And then another one of, you didn't need to go this hard, sir.
Yeah, Act 2's so good.
Speaking of which, if the audience has any questions, if you donate $5 and it's not a rude question, we will read it. So keep those donations coming
Yes,
in.
we don't mind the interview percent. Keep it good, keep it clean.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Hydro City Act 2.
Exactly.
What a great song, right?
Went hard then, you only just improved upon perfection.
It was just like a little. I basically didn't do much here at all.
The humility.
Because it's true. How do you improve upon perfection? You know, it's. I had to think a lot. What does this need? And it didn't need anything, basically. Okay, let's just, reinforce some of the instruments, add a few details, maybe change the drum set and stuff. But it still retains a lot of the same instruments and everything. Whereas my original music has no 16-bit stuff at all.
But then again,
It's all
just,
like rumplers and mainly Korg M1, which was the rumpler I chose for this project. For consistency, and to kind of create a sound for this game. I don't think I've used those sounds much after Sonic Mania.
let's see if I can get this. Yeah. Yes. No, not down that far. We still got this.
Tails is such a good boy, isn't
Oh
he?
no.
Yeah.
Boxy paddle, absolutely.
I honestly, the cutest little bit of pixel art in this entire game, and forever for me, will always be Tails' little doggy paddle. Every time he's doing his little doggy paddle, he's just adorable.
He's just swimming.
I think he reminds us of our own pets in a way, and that's where his charm, a lot of his charm resides.
I'm
Pets
always
or children,
Yeah.
It's like obviously a combination because he acts like a human even though he's an animal, but
My thing is, like, for most games, the second banana character always gets my heart a little bit more. Just
Yeah,
because
really?
it's like, it's never Mario, it's Green Mario.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not Sonic, it's Tails.
Green Mario.
Yeah, it's like, I'm always for the other person. Like, they just have a little bit more personality than walking Deus Ex Machina.
yeah. That's true. Maybe a little bit of a deeper.
Show a little vulnerability. Like, that's
exactly.
character development. It's
yeah.
like, yes, Luigi's scared. He's, like, insecure, but, like,
He's a person.
That's a
Like
person.
a person, yeah. I think it's the same with Tails and his insecurity.
But
Whereas
he-
Sonic is just so confident and everything just goes right for him.
All Mighty. Goodbye, Hydra City 2. We'll miss you.
For sure.
The
while
only
we're-
cutscene I can't skip.
While we're enjoying this, we got a $25 donation from Witch and Mevy, so thank you so much for that. And then a $5 donation from McNux that has, since you were
Oh, no.
involved with, what's up?
No. Oh, no.
Since you were involved with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, one of their favorite games, what was it like collaborating with an amazing artist in Mega Ran and being in the same soundtrack with the Wu-Tang Clan?
It was nuts, man. That's the only answer I have for you because Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah, insane team up,
one of the
right?
biggest rap names of all times, right? How did they even manage to get a couple of members to do a song with us is beyond me, but
Yeah,
I'm turning in my gamer card. I lost on Sky Chase Act 2.
oh man.
yeah.
I'm not wrong.
The Skyjack one was funny.
So yeah, but it was incredible, man, and also collaborating with not as well-known people, but equally as talented or more perhaps, like Johnny Atma, who is amazing. You know, I've been working with him on pretty much every single project ever since 2018, around there. And then of course, Mega Ran was there too. Anton Carrazza that rapped on Mutants Over Broadway, right? That kick-ass song. So you know, I was fortunate enough to work with a lot of great
I
artists.
saw you perform with him last night. And you were amazing. Both of
Insane.
you were
Yeah,
sick
yeah,
as
yeah.
hell.
They are so good. That is for sure.
Well, we also have a $10 donation from K2 Sonic Fan asking if there was one level from the classic era that wasn't included in Mania and you were offered a chance to include that level with no questions asked, what would it be? I know, another tough one.
Because there was a lot of good representation for this one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, T. You've been getting the hardest questions from
That
like
is
the
a
audience
very
and
tough
whatnot.
question, man. Especially with this kind of history, right? I would love to see a take on Spring Yard Zone. I know a lot of people hate that,
Okay.
but
yeah.
if nothing else, just to get a chance, just to have a chance to try to do an act one for the music or something, create something interesting for it. But I think that if they it could be a little bit of an irritating stage at times. But if they mess with the game design a little bit, I'm sure that they could nowadays do like super interesting stuff with that layout.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is actually one of my favorite, just designs for a boss. Like, I've got the train. You can't defeat me now.
Yeah, but I feel like my answer is biased because I just love the music for that stage. So
I have to cut in. I have a side thing here. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I played this stage for the first time, I was like, "We're on the back of a train, and we're not doing Sunset Park Zone Act 3 from Triple Trouble."
yeah, well,
that would
Have
be
you?
a
Has
good-
anyone ever asked you about that with this one?
yeah.
Or are you familiar with that one?
I am.
Okay,
I
great.
am. Yeah, I didn't play it, but I am familiar with it.
It may just be like train association.
It could
you know?
be, yeah. Oh, this boss is insane too.
No,
because
it's like the hitbox. My joke is, what is a hitbox? A miserable pile of secrets. Although this is, that
it
could've been a
just
quick
feels like
kill.
like a kaiju version of
No, and then in the Knuckles Act 1 version, that was a nice deep cut back to Sonic Chaos, where it was the boss of the second zone. And I
Right.
was just like, again, the love is here. The love is still there, you guys.
It's still there forever.
Speaking of love, we have another $5 donation from Rose. How does the process of contributing to the newer Sonic games differ than composing for Mania?
So I would say it differs in the sense that there's less style limitations when you work on a modern game versus working on a game where you're representing a different era, and so you have to kind of try to create a vibe, that with older instruments and older styles and stuff. Whereas with new Sonic games, it's a new thing, it's completely unexplored, and you can go in and try types of crazy things, which I feel is what the modern composers do many times.
That's actually-
and incorporate modern music.
Yeah, the best thing about every single Sonic game is no matter like how good the Sonic game is, you're gonna get a brand new soundtrack that's gonna go wild places.
Right.
You're going to go on a new adventure musically, and every time it's like, you know, people get to expand because I will say this: one of the nice things about the Sonic community is that we're down to explore whatever musically you're going to take us.
Yeah.
Because every soundtrack, I would say, since Adventure has been drastically different.
Right. That is
So,
true.
that makes sense.
And they explored so many styles. But obviously, when you're making an old school game or old school themed game such as Sonic Mania or DMNT Shredder's Revenge, you want to stick to a certain era, and that involves sticking to certain patterns that you wouldn't have to on a modern game. Perhaps if they gave you carte blanche to whatever you want.
No,
Speaking of Triple Trouble,
no, and I honestly was just like, I'm sad about Mirage Saloon 2. It's so quick. It's so over already. And I'm like, we didn't even get the chance. That was, again, another one of the original ones where it went that hard.
Yeah.
It's fun. You know you're in an ice cream parlor.
These references were super cool too.
No, those are, again, deep cuts, the boss.
Sonic the Fighters, which I played at the arcade before for the first
They
time.
got two
I had never
machines
tried it.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit messed up.
Little bit, what, for
yeah,
the...
like some of the screens are a little bit older, so you don't get the full experience that you would have gotten back in the day.
But then they get like they brought it in for like the gems collection and stuff like that. So at least they're not forgotten.
Right.
They're definitely products of their time.
Yes.
But
and it's so interesting to revisit those, right? Especially nowadays, and to be able to look back and think of all the things that were being done and that were being tried back then.
oh yeah.
Making a Sonic fighting game. I mean.
Speaking of revisiting, this was one that I was not expecting to revisit when we got the whole game. But you should have. I should have seen the signs, especially when they were literally on the cans of oil that were being delivered on the train. I'm like, they paid attention to detail like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're following the story in the cutscenes and stuff, they give you little
No, not
hints.
even in the cutscene. It's just like it's right there on the train. They have
on the
OOC
train,
on the
yes,
drums.
yes.
And I'm like, little things like that.
Right. Yeah, if you pay attention to detail, there's a lot of little hints and little references. Lots of obscure stuff not even I know about. I love that detail.
No, it's like
of the
you
oil
are
setting on fire.
You are on fire. You are in
Yeah.
an oil ocean. Everything is going to be on fire.
It should, right?
Okay, so next question for you is from Tiger Ray 64. $5 donation asks, favorite non-video game Sonic character?
Non-video game.
Yeah,
Yes.
non-video
Okay.
game Sonic
comic
character.
books or the movies.
Sally.
Ooh.
Sally
Yes.
Acorn.
Good choice.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
From
The Archie
From
comics
the-
and the cartoon.
from the cartoon specifically in my case, because that's what I grew up with. Yeah.
That cartoon is what I really enjoyed back in the day too. I still. This is another deep cut. I'm not a fan of Power Rangers because I know they single-handedly killed the show. I will die on that hill, unfortunately, because nowadays I greatly appreciate what the Power Rangers have brought to the community. But it's just one of those sad things that it was true. The ratings for Power Rangers was astronomical and just blew a lot of shows back then out, just ratings-wise.
That's
so
true.
it was partially true. But again, hindsight, they did a good job. I will admit it. And I think that they can keep going if they could. And goodbye, Mr. Bob the Builder.
My favorite's the owl from the Sonic OVAs.
Oh,
I'm joking. Their character's awful.
he just wanted to be cool like everybody else.
Sorry, I can't.
No.
All right. We got a $5 from Aoshi Stark, which asked you, and I think it's kind of in the same vein as the question from before. So what classic level that would you have wanted to see in Mania that didn't make it in the final cut?
I guess I answered that before. Yeah, it would have been
Springyard.
Springyard. Yeah. Yeah.
I think a revamped Springyard could have gone really hard for this one.
Absolutely.
Now that they've gone, like you've got your share of casino / bouncy levels, they could easily modernize Springyard because
sure.
I don't think it was an optimized casino-esque level.
No.
When you are going through all those like the checkerboard squishers and everything,
Yeah.
I was just like, this is more Mario platforming than actual speed.
Right.
And we've learned our lessons since then.
Yeah. I mean, it was their first Sonic game, so mistakes were made here and there, but obviously the series survived until today, so they learned their lesson in many senses with the following games.
Now, I'm noticing through this version of Oil Ocean 2 that you must have gotten like a hold of what the zone mechanics were going to be, because easily with this one for the remix is like, no, we hear the well, now we can't hear anything except there it is.
Here it is.
Nice glitch. I easily can hear the Sandopolis influence because of this mechanic.
You know, I never thought about that.
Really?
No, there is an influence, yeah.
Because this
Or not an influence, a similarity.
yeah.
You have that Middle Eastern type of vibe going on in both songs, but that's not something I even considered back then.
Really?
But that's an interesting thing you bring up and coincidence. If I told you what this song was inspired by, it was inspired by a meme on
A
YouTube.
meme, really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm afraid.
Yeah. There was some. It was an Indian song from the old days, from an old Bollywood movie that inspired it. Had a beat kind of like that. And for some reason, I thought, you know what? Why don't I just incorporate that? And there you go.
Just gonna take those for safety reasons. No, go back down.
Okay, so we got another $5 donation from McNux asking, besides what you've already worked on, what is your dream video game franchise that you would love to compose music for?
As I said, I would love to do a Mega Man game of any sort, right? Castlevania, obviously.
Ooh, okay.
And, yeah, I would love to do a Castlevania game. Symphony of the Night is still one of my favorite games ever.
Oh, that
And
sounds
it's
so good.
up there with my favorite soundtracks of all time. Yeah, it's such a great soundtrack.
There we go.
So, I would say those two, but there's so many I'm probably forgetting right now.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to have you at the helm as far as the sound set goes.
Yeah, there was Streets of Rage also that I had the
Street
the
Rage
privilege
4
of
was
working on.
amazing.
So that was bucket list stuff as well. And there's some coming that I can't talk about yet, but that's stuff that I've definitely wanted to do for a long time. Yeah. But I can tell you it's not Mega Man or Castlevania, unfortunately. But I still haven't lost hope. So maybe one day.
We have another $5 donation. Hi T, it's been amazing to watch you grow from a fan creator in the community years ago to where you are now making music for official Sonic games. Always a fan of your work. Keep being awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, and thanks for the donation.
All right, a lot of love for that. We have $5 donated by Anonymous. Hope everyone's having a good time. Question for you, T. Do you listen to remixes of music you made, and do you have any favorites?
Do I? I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Repeat
do
the
you
question.
listen to any remixes of music you've
Do
made?
I listen to my own remixes?
No. Do you listen to remixes of your music?
Of my music?
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. I
Got
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Definitely
I love the
love.
community.
Do you have any favorites that you'd like to shout out? Like any particular like?
I could, but that would be unfair to all the other ones
That's
that
fair,
I,
that's
that I
fair, that's fair.
enjoyed. So,
That's fair.
but there's so many talented artists in the community that I even think deserve higher positions for how talented they are, how creative they are. And but unfortunately, that's not how things work many times. But there's definitely lots of super talented people that I love listening to, and it's a privilege to listen to my music being remixed by people that many times know more about music in theory than I do, because I never studied music, right? Never went to school for it. So when you see somebody dissecting my music and talking about it in like in musical terms and in like terms that I don't know. It's always very interesting for me. Oh, okay, so that's what I was doing when I did that. That's what you call that.
You're like, yeah, no, I totally did all that.
I tried to win.
I totally get that. I'm in the same way in the art world, and it's very much like, oh, it doesn't just look good. I just thought it looked good. It has a reason. Oh, we're talking about rule of thirds or something like that.
Yes.
So yeah, I totally understand that.
You end up becoming your own example.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah?
We got another $10 donation from Anonymous for T. You also did music for Penny's Big Breakaway. Is there a difference? Hell yeah, let's get a shout out for Penny's Big Breakaway. Is there a difference in music between that game and Sonic Mania? I'm not really sure what that question is asking.
Let me try to interpret it. Could you
Yeah.
read it again? Is there a difference?
What is the difference in music between Penny's Big Breakaway and Sonic Mania?
I think I can give you an answer.
Okay.
The main difference is everything. Is everything. In terms of the style is completely different. The inspirations are completely different, right? Whereas Sonic Mania had tons of inspiration from music from the 90s and video games and stuff like that. Penny's Big Breakaway took inspiration from the music from the 70s and basically the beginning of synthetic music and synths and all that stuff. So it differs there. It differs in genres as well. The type of instrumentation, it's very different in many ways.
This is going to be random off topic. Do you ever listen to any like Italo disco or like weird offset like?
Yeah.
Okay. I just had
listen
a
to
feeling
everything.
based on like everything you just said, it seemed like you had that like.
Italo disco. This is your question?
Yeah, this is my question.
Do you like modern talking?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. I'm familiar with
I go clubbing to like a local discotheque in Austin,
Did
Texas
they play
every weekend.
the old stuff?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
That's
great.
that's my area.
Yeah.
So it's just you were talking about synths there, and I was just like 70 synths. I was like,
Giorgio
hello.
Moroder.
Yes,
and all
exactly.
those- Yeah.
Oh, actually, we have one last $10 donation from Spin Dash, TJ Davis, Tee Lopes, Awesome Sonic Speedruns. If this event doesn't earn my donation, nothing could. Much love. And that's right. Thank you so much. Much love back out to you, Spin Dash. I could not be more excited about the amazing Sonic content that we've had for us this year. As a giant Sonic fan myself, like I can't believe that we've got Tee Lopes here. We had TJ Davis last night.
So lovely. So
Singing
lovely. Such a lovely queen.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I love her.
She sang the entire Sonic R OST on this stage last night.
Yeah.
While I did the Sonic R speedrun.
Yeah.
So we have more surprises
you.
coming up. So very excited.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to catch up with her for a little bit and
Yeah.
take a few pictures. I was just so honored.
She was
Peter
talking
Chris.
about you all weekend, actually.
She was?
Yeah, she was like,
Wow.
I'm so excited to meet T. And this
That's
morning,
incredible. Wow.
after she met you, she came back and she was just like, I finally got to meet him, and he was so sweet.
Really?
Yeah. She talked about you quite a bit.
I think the world of her. Both
Yeah.
as an artist and as a person, she was just impeccable.
Yeah.
So. Let's put our hands together for TJ.
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
TJ,
She's amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of like eclectic soundtracks, like the Sonic R soundtrack is probably one of the more like distinguishable sounding soundtracks in the Sonic lore. And we've had if you've ever like had an original Sonic game and you could go with like a wild genre, is there a specific genre that you'd like to explore in the Sonic
Yes.
area? Okay,
There's
I'm very
something
curious
I
about
don't
this.
think has been done, to my knowledge,
Okay.
and that I want to explore one day if I had the chance, which is ska.
Yes.
Yeah. which I think would go so well with Sonic and with the whole speed thing. Oh, that would be great. So if there's ever the opportunity, I'm definitely gonna
I could.
mess around with that.
I heard Ska Tune Network a couple years do a couple of
Amazing.
Sonic
yeah.
tracks here.
How did that sound?
What's that?
How did that sound? Wasn't that great?
Right, it was incredible.
Right. It could
So
have
yeah, I
belonged
can
in
see
the
it'd
game.
be perfect.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to mess with that one day.
We got a Dorth the Destroyer in the chat just said Scanic, the Scanic. So the chat is down board.
I don't know what that is, but
Now, I did want to say something about this one, too. It's another case of this went hard for one reason. Well, unfortunately, I went super. But the guitar. The guitar for this went so good just for that one change that it was just a complete game changer when it came to the sound.
I remember one of the members of the team, Hunter Bridges, took the song and he superimposed it over a weather channel cast, kinda, yeah. Yeah, and that was so funny. I laughed. I'm like, wow, that does fit very well.
So for those not familiar, the Weather Channel just seems to have like soundtracks that go so hard for just the local forecast. We don't understand why, but their artists seem to just go really hard.
Oh, especially in the 90s. I don't know how it is nowadays, but
I don't know
back
how
then,
it is
some
now.
serious jams.
Yeah,
It's gonna snow like crazy, but this music is amazing.
Yeah, I think there's actually a YouTube channel dedicated to just the old cast like that.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. I wish I had like the albums for the Euro News stuff, which I absolutely loved. Yeah, great stuff for always with, great music with going with weather stuff for some reason.
It's like we're gonna do this, and again, we're doing this. This is probably the one I wasn't expecting when it came to the remixed levels. But I would still rather have this over, let's say, Metropolis.
Yeah, we've been dogging on Metropolis a lot today.
Yeah.
I think that depends, because if you got Metropolis on this game, I think a lot of improvements would have been made when it comes to some of the gimmicks, some of the game design.
The team did do an excellent job of personally, my least, besides Metropolis, my least favorite stage in Sonic 2 is Oil Ocean Zone.
Yeah.
And they
made it bearable.
amazing.
Right, so bearable, as you said, right?
All right, we got a $10 donation from Anonymous. It says, "Sup, T? Let's address the plumber in the room. What's your favorite Mario game?"
My favorite Mario game is Mario Galaxy.
All right.
Yeah,
You know
Mario
what? That's
Galaxy
a good
1.
one.
A lot of that has to do with the music, once again, because it's something I pay a lot of attention to, and that Gusty Garden is
Dusty Garden, absolute.
I was
Just
gonna ask.
is to me one of the best songs ever made for a video game, in my opinion.
The
Yeah.
orchestral piece
Yeah, I was
is
just
so
about to say it
good.
was the first orchestral Mario game as well.
Right, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was the very first one that was just like. Now, of course, they've done remakes of the other
Right.
soundtracks in
Right.
orchestral, but it was like on release. The what's in the
Recorded
game
with
is
an orchestra.
yeah.
I think it was the first. And then I saw that video of them recording it, and it was just, wow, this is just incredible.
I'm just happy we are in an age where finally the tech has caught up with the music that you can actually have as part of your soundtrack. Because, let's face it, back in the day, we only had the beeps and boops
Yep.
of those sound chips, and that's
That's
all
true.
that we had.
Yeah.
But composers had such lofty goals that it's like, no, this
That
is
is
what we
yeah,
want to do.
insane, and kudos to them artists back in the day, because as we know, it was impossible, literally impossible to make what you had in mind, just because of all the limitations. So they had to do a lot of stretching and get really, really creative with the limited amount of sounds that they had back in the day.
Because let's
So
face it,
that's-
like for instance, Uematsu and Final Fantasy, like they wanted to go a lot harder than they could, but they just had those limitations.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, we have
Now we can go all the
orchestrated
way.
everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, now it's time for some localized PTSD, Blaze.
You got it. Well, while we're at it, oh god. The big the cat run is flashing back on me.
Man.
I'm going to ignore that by talking about our next donation. $50 donation
Okay.
from, I don't know if this is familiar or not, Kyle McCravitz. Shout out to Tee Lopes from your high school classmate you discovered at MAG. Only the best out here from New Jersey all around.
Oh, okay, I know who it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
got it.
Thank you.
Sorry if I butchered your name as well.
What did you call me?
Kyle McCravitt.
Oh, his name. Or
Yeah, his name.
Okay. Now you're.
Yours too. I don't know, man. McRabbits.
Because sometimes people say Lopez instead of Lopes, but that doesn't bother me.
You know,
There
I
we
heard
go.
a lot of people say Lopez this weekend. I was like, am I wrong?
Nah, it's okay.
This
To be
must
fair,
gets me
yeah, it's Lopes is also not my last name. It would be Lopes in Portuguese. That's the way it's pronounced. Yeah.
You know, I actually have the same problem. My name is Belcher.
I thought you were gonna say I have the same name. Like really,
No,
you're a
no, no,
Lopes
no,
too?
no. I have the same problem. But technically, my last name is pronounced Belcher because it's
Belcher.
French.
Yeah,
But
Belcher.
yeah.
I did not know that.
But
That sounds classy.
even my family doesn't pronounce it that way.
Right.
So-
So how do they pronounce it?
It's Belcher.
Belcher.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
like-
downgrade.
Uh,
Belcher.
yeah,
A
yeah.
certain je ne sais quoi.
Exactly. Ellis Island screwed us up. That's all.
Oh man.
All right, we got a couple donations that are a little time sensitive as they both have to do with this level. We got a $10 donation from Lynn, which is, hi T, Mania and Superstars were inspired by 90s Sonic games, but seem to lack any original lyrics. Songs games like CDR and 3D Blast and Saturn had in their credits and such. Was there any plan to include a lyrical song in either Mania or Superstars? To which I say, what do you mean? This one has lyrics. Metallic Madness Act 2.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people realize that. If you're not familiar with the entire soundtrack, you won't realize that there's some lyrics here and there.
This is actually one of my favorites. Metallic Madness Act 2, I absolutely love, like, just they're out in the background and just all the different pieces that lead
Yeah.
to it. For that same one, $10 from Chaos Control Channel. Hey T, how do the lyrics to this song go again? Also, save the frames, not the animals.
How did the lyrics go? I don't remember. This was written so long ago, and I'm actually the one rapping these lyrics on the microphone. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's my impression of Dr. Robotnik,
Honestly, it's super impressive.
and the other one is my impression of my terrible impression of Sonic, like representation, obviously. But actually, we made these two stages, Act 1 and Act 2. They're supposed to work as kind of like a rap battle, going back and forth between Sonic and Robotnik.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
if you pay attention to the lyrics, which I don't remember right now, but I put them somewhere online, you'll notice that it's kind of like
It's all good. I think that actually answers this next one. $10 donated by IO Sun. Hello T, I have to ask, how did you treat the rap in Metallic Madness? Is it a direct sample or was it new stuff recorded for
it's
this?
me. Yeah. I wrote it and recorded it.
You just got in the sound with it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, we couldn't sample anything for the game because of licensing reasons and all of that. So I said I'm just gonna write my own thing and make it happen myself.
We have another $5 donation from McNux, manifesting that we hear T's music and Sonic Cinematic Universe. T's music in the upcoming Sonic 4 movie. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. What do you guys say? Let's go. Paramount, get in touch.
That would be
I am so down.
Queen.
On that subject, I have a question regarding that. So obviously we just got Live and Learn in Sonic 3. Of your compositions, which one would you like to be in a
You
Sonic
know
movie?
which one would
I
have to
know.
be there, right?
Yeah.
It's not even what I want. That's,
Yeah,
There's
but
Studiopolis would
Studios, yeah.
probably be
That's
the
fair.
one. If there was ever a context to include
I
it
mean,
somewhere, that would be great.
It's already a movie. Just go to Hollywood, Studiopolis Zone. You're
Right,
there.
let's go. It's all related, right?
Right?
It's already there.
Man, this UFO catcher's busted. It's giving me all these garbage toys.
I could see it being like one of those like little nods where it's like someone's phone's ringing and
Right,
Studiopolis Zone
right,
comes on or something
right.
like that.
Yeah. Or maybe they're at a casino
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
That'd be so good.
That would be amazing, yeah. Even if it was just like a little nothing.
So now comes the last original level.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Which, by the way, I love both sides of this for different
I love
reasons.
both
Act
sides of
1
this.
and 2 are so good.
I have one major question though.
Yeah.
What drove you to put a 56K baud modem sound into
I
this?
have no idea, man.
I hear that and I'm just like, why am I getting some old PTSD from this?
Maybe because of the robotic nature of the stage combined with the 90s. So it's like a 90s machine, which maybe that's what a
That is-
modem sounds like, but
No, that
I'm telling you, I'm thinking about this for the first time, so I don't know if this answer is accurate.
No, that actually makes the most sense if you're going for the old school vibes.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff I don't think about. It's just, you know, it's like I hear it, and oh, why not? Let's throw it in there. It might be fun or different or whatever. So I think that was the reason I did it. These particular songs, Act 1 and 2, I was not in a very good mental state at the time. Yeah, it wasn't a great time of my life. So I think that show that reflects.
No, it definitely
Yeah.
is giving off that like kind of sinister vibe.
Yeah.
And then considering the contents of this level, which I am convinced is a very interesting combination of Carnival Night, Scrap Brain, and Death Egg.
Yeah.
And I will also die on that hill because you
call it-
probably died here on several of these hills and playing this
Let's
level.
call it Carnival Death Zone. Because you have
Carnival Scrap Brain.
you
I
have
don't
all
know.
of these.
Sound like a Soundgarden song.
Right? That's a good one. You have all this fun stuff trying to kill you, so
Oh, goodness.
Carnival Death Zone. Tentative name. Those little pigs.
Oh, those. This little piggy threw a bomb. This little piggy destroyed my run.
Yeah, I was really curious, kind of how you made the sounds for this. It really does make sense. Like, yeah, a little bit of like modem type deals. Like, just honestly, instrumentation for both Titanic Monarch Act 1 and 2. I just absolutely love it. It's so good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, 2 especially, just because it definitely gives that like sinister vibe to it.
I'm sure if you had asked me these
Rude.
questions closer to release, I could have given you answers that are probably more accurate. A lot of the stuff I honestly don't remember what I was thinking or feeling at the time, but hopefully there's some entertaining answers.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I think that's good.
We have
That was
another
intentional,
donation.
but I'm gonna take that for now.
It's a $10 donation from Blast Physics. Hey T, I went to the San Francisco Sonic Symphony in January of 2024. I noticed you arranged the Sonic 1 medley, and I was wondering how you handled the orchestration process, or did you take any orchestration lessons, or was it all intuition?
I pretended like I knew what I was doing,
Hell yeah.
and that's what came out. They invited me to do it, and I thought I either say yes or no, and if I say no, it's gonna be a shame. So let's say yes, and just let's see what happens. And you know, people seem to enjoy it, so that went well, I guess.
No, I went to the symphony myself, and that was definitely one heck of a show.
Man, it's so insane to see all of those super talented people performing something you arranged.
It's like, and for all the other
It will never be
VIPs I've
normal.
worked with, it's like seeing your own stuff or hearing your own voice is just like, people don't understand how much it means. Like, this is something you created.
Right.
and
I
it
don't
is
like
out there.
listening to my own voice. All right, let's start with that. But seeing other people enjoying stuff that you've made, it makes you feel like, you know, like your music is useful. It's not just an aesthetic thing that's complementing a game. It's, you know, something that means something to people, and that can help sometimes bring people up when they're feeling down. So that's an important aspect of this, and that's something that I only learned I had the power to do much later.
Speaking of the Death Egg, I didn't want to see this thing ever again. There we go.
All right. So we actually just got a $10 donation from Wyland Wesley, saying, I first heard you on Sonic Mania, then I heard Universe, and then in the past few years, you've done Shredder's Revenge, Metal Slug Tactics, and a G.I. Joe side-scrolling beat-em-up. My question is, what's next for Tee Lopes, or any series you'd like to do? I know we
wish-
did ask that earlier.
I wish I could tell you.
I
I wish I could tell you. There's a lot of cool stuff, especially for this year, that's happening. I don't even believe it's happening yet. But yeah, I wish I could talk more about that. But it's exciting stuff. I can say that much. And I would very much like to create not a universe too, but like an album, make music for myself and not for a game or for a just letting my feelings get out there.
On that subject, obviously your compositions really blew up because of Sonic Mania, and since then you seem like it's obvious that you've done really great with all these other opportunities and making a lot of stuff. But like you said, you're thinking about making more. You'd like to get back to a point where you're able to make more, like original compositions just for you.
Just making whatever I want for the hell of it, not worry about if it's gonna sell or if it's not gonna sell. So if I ever become rich, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make the occasional video game and just do whatever the hell I want for the rest of my time.
Do you have like a dream project? Not like video games.
Okay.
But like anything at all, like a type of album or anything that you'd love to do.
Yeah, there's so many, but I guess most are maybe too ambitious to even consider. But yeah, we spoke about the movie before. That would be a really cool thing to do at any in any capacity. But obviously, the more they gave me, the better it would be. I have no experience doing that kind of thing, but once again, I had no experience doing the orchestra thing either, so we just figure things out.
Well, I
as we
mean,
go.
sometimes like it's one of those things. Is like it's obvious that you're talented. Just throw you at the wall and see what sticks.
Right. And I don't have to do these things by myself either. I could suppose I get invited to do something like this. I could always collaborate with somebody that has the experience to translate my compositions into something that's viable for a movie. So it's possible. It could happen. After Sonic Mania happened, anything is possible, right?
Exactly.
That's
right.
the way I see it. I never thought I'd be able to do an official Sonic game, but here we are.
That sounds very much like Sonic the Hedgehog lyrics. Anything is possible.
And hopefully it inspires other people too, that these things do happen many times when you chase them.
Well, we also just got a $10 donation by Anonymous. Interesting question. Have there been any songs you composed or arranged where you were more happy with an earlier version than when you ended up? So like you make it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Love that.
No.
Sometimes it's just a simple answer.
Yeah. The answer is no, because I progressively working on the song until it gets to a point that I'm satisfied with, and I say this quote unquote because you're never truly satisfied with your music, right? You just abandon them, you never really finish them. So that's something important to keep in mind.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
We're getting to the end of Sonic Mania, and I'd just like to announce that we are currently sitting at 11,911.90.
Oh, push that over, please.
Wow.
We are
We're almost
so
at
close to
12.
12K. We have never raised 12K in a single event. So
Let's make it happen.
let's make
push
it happen.
this over, guys.
Can we get another $100 before the end of Sonic Mania?
One last push. Let's go. For a good cause.
We are also still keeping the questions coming in. $5 donations. And a question. We'll ask Tee Lopes anything, even if you have already asked it, and then we'll be like, we already answered that question. So, but yeah, if you have any unique questions that you would love to get an answer to, now is an excellent time, and you'd be doing a service by helping us raise money for Child's Play. Hawkfoot with some serious concentration right now.
Titanic Monarch 2 is
not a peep, man.
No, like this and Flying Battery 2 have been notorious for being like the first time overs for a lot of first timers, and
Including me. Never happened to me before.
Yeah, so it is definitely not a fun time. So 5 minutes is usually pretty long for most Sonic levels. And thankfully, this is probably going to be a little bit. Time is going to be on the last hit here.
All right. In the meantime, while he's destroying this boss, we got a $10 donation from Shredberg. Thank you so much. And Another $5 from McNucks here. Speaking of T doing other projects, if I can make a recommendation for you, T, go to Tee Lopes' Christmas album soon, please.
It exists.
Christmas season.
It exists.
Oh, it exists.
Yeah. There's the Christmas EP. Is it considered an EP? Yeah. Has a few tracks that was released by Game Chops back in 2021, I believe. Maybe before that. No, 2019. I think so.
Gonna have to dig that up. I did not know that one.
Yeah, there is it's an album of video game Christmas arrangements. Where I take video game music, some of my favorite songs, and remix them into a Christmas thing.
I do have to go ahead and interject. We are officially at 12,100.
Yeah, it's time!
All right.
Beautiful.
We got a $100 donation by
Nice.
the wrong button with
wrong
one
button?
request.
No, that was the right button right
He
there.
said-
He needs to change his name.
$100 to not hit us.
I did not hit the wrong button.
You got it. There we go.
I mean, obviously, I might have hit the wrong button going super, but we ran with it.
Yeah, we all hit the wrong button once in a while, right?
Hey, I'll track you. Was that time?
That was time, yes.
Time.
Time was
Amazing, huh? That was great.
We can wait till post.
the orange boy.
The orange boy, not the
Our
peach boy.
orange
You said
boy,
it
he's
right.
so cute.
Okay.
He's just a little guy.
All right, while we're going through the credits, we have a few more donations. But actually, first, let's give it up one more time for Hawkfoot.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
And one more big round of applause for Tee Lopes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All
I just
right,
want to let you
y'all.
guys know that some of my merch is still available. If you want to get stickers or T-shirts, they're being sold by the Rock Island people, by the MAGFAST organization.
Yeah, it's
So-
right outside this
Right outside
door,
the
right
door.
beside the hallway.
There was one more special question that a good friend of mine wanted me to ask. And this is kind of like a little vague / spiritual / existential kind of question. What does the name Sonic mean to you? Not the games, the name. What does it represent to you?
Sonic represents attitude, confidence, and the joy of living. I think that's, yeah.
I love
Love that. Love
Joy
that.
of living, I think, is the right, yeah.
Awesome.
Somebody that enjoys living, that enjoys friendship, and that wants to do the best for those around him. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I couldn't disagree more.
Yeah.
You mean,
No.
you couldn't agree more?
I could agree.
How much percent more?
Nobody said there'd be math.
No, don't worry, we're gonna get rid of percentages. Anyways, everybody, one more round of applause. Thank you both so much. I really
Thank you guys.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for coming. It means a lot. Thank you.
All right.